Do you ever feel like that your life is stuck? Like you hate where you currently are in life, but you don't know how to get to where you want to go in the next chapter in your life? I've learned that's called a life transition, and you're not alone. I'm in that exact thing right now. And today, I want to talk about the struggles of what life transitions can throw at you and how to get to the next one. So let's go ahead to my favorite place in Austin, the Domain. Okay, so we just got to the Domain, and I thought something that would be really cool for us to do, for those of you that have been with me on this journey for a few months now, you'll know that I came here to the Domain to try to overcome my fear of vlogging. And I thought that a really cool way to kick off this video would be to go back to that same exact spot where we tried to vlog for the public in first time to kick off this video. So let's head back to that first spot. Man, these trucks in the background are crazy loud. But what I'm gonna try to do is, if I can remember correctly, find the exact table where we first started this vlog in public, about a month ago at this point. And it's crazy, like being back here, I feel more confident. Like I feel like I'm a more confident creator in a way. And I think that just goes to putting in reps and putting in more time, behind the lens, or I guess to say in front of the lens in this case. So I don't remember if this is the exact table, but this is the one we're gonna go with. The one thing that's nice about this is, man, it is so much nicer today than the last time we tried to vlog in public. It was like a dark, kind of gloomy day. But today, it's gorgeous outside. But let's talk about the reason why you clicked on this video, and that's life transitions. I think we all go through those, and I'll get to different examples. But for me, I'm currently in this, what I would call a major life transition right now. For the last 4 years, I have dedicated my life to becoming a professional photographer in the sport of paintball. So much so that I've traveled the country, I have missed birthdays, I've missed holidays, and all of that led to an award-winning career where I won Photographer of the Year 3 years in a row. And on top of that, last year, I even won Photo of the Year. And so right after that event, I just kind of lost the motivation and I wanted to do something else. And I had this pull to really dive into this YouTube channel and to document my life and to bring you all around of my experiences of what happens here in Austin, Texas, because there's so much to do. And for me, I always love seeing other creators in bigger cities, whether it's Chicago or Toronto, New York City, and they're bringing you along with their experience of what their life is like in these major cities. And you kind of get a taste of like what it's like to live in these cities. And so because of that, I'm really stuck in the middle of this like life transition where I want to do this all the time, but I think my identity is still wrapped up in being a photographer. And that sucks. It's really hard to deal with because every time I go to have an idea to create a new video or to do something new, this surge of energy of, creating something, but then every single day is so hard because it gets more and more lonely. And so that got me thinking about life transitions. And I think we all experience that at different parts in our life. These life transitions where some examples are you go from middle school to high school, from high school to college, from college to a job. And right now I am in that transition period where my identity was completely tied up into being a photographer. And now I want to be a YouTuber, more of a content creator, a vlogger. But it's honestly so scary to think about that transition and what is gonna go into this because it's gonna be super lonely. And I think a lot of people, if you found this video, you're probably in something similar where you're in between, you're almost in a stuck phase of You don't want to be identified with what the thing is that maybe you built your career around, maybe you built your hobbies around, but you're also not at the spot where the new thing that you're trying to do, maybe it hasn't taken off yet, or maybe you're just so afraid to even start that new thing. So I get that. And I think as we go through these transitions in life, what I'm noticing is the deeper I get into this new chapter of who I am, the more I'm learning about myself. Like the more I'm learning about what I want as a person, the more I'm learning as what I want as a creative. And it's such a cool thing. Like even when I get to the other side, I know one day I will hit 100,000 subscribers. Like that's been a goal of mine for a long time. But I know right now, going through this, doing the really hard thing, one, vlogging back in public with much more confidence. Like the first time I did this, my camera was a lot lower and I was really nervous. So like even just holding the camera up higher, I feel more confident. And so I am learning so much going on this journey. And I think that's the goal, is when you're stuck in these like transitions in your life, that's where the magic happens. It doesn't feel like it in the moment. But think about it, like think back to any major transition you had in your life. It was really hard, right? But then when you finally get through to the other side of it and you look back at those transitions, the secret sauce, the magic the whole entire time was what you did when you were going through that. And that's where you learned so much about yourself. And maybe it's putting in the reps, maybe it's being consistent with whatever it was. Maybe you think back or look back at those times and maybe you cringe a little bit, but like that's good if you do that, because that means you grew as a person to become where you are now. And so that's me right now. I'm in that section of life where it's kind of cringy in a way, where, I think back to all of the times that I've transitioned in my life to just different things, different hobbies, different careers. And it's really, really scary. But I know I've got to push through this uncomfortability. I don't know what the word is for that, but you've got to push through this pocket of feelings right now to get to that other side. And so that's what this is going to be all about, is how to overcome these transitions, how to get through to the transitions to the other side, and to learn along the way. So I think before we go any further, it's time for some coffee. Hello, how are you? I'm doing well. Can I do a vanilla sweet cream nitro cold brew? Thank you. I'm a big coffee guy. I do my own beans and we get all the stuff locally here in Austin. But there is something special about the Starbucks sweet cream cold brew nitro. It hits differently. All right, let's keep this conversation going. So these life transitions that we were talking about earlier, I think we all go through them, whether we know it or not. I think the natural transition that a lot of people go through is when they were first in high school, right? And then they're transitioning out of high school. Maybe it's into college or to a full-time job. Maybe it's going from one job to another job. But all of those moments, those are life transitions, and they can be some of the hardest moments in our life. A few weeks ago, I made a video about, I made a video where I really talked about some of the transitions, and I talked about what it was like being in high school, right? A lot of people in high school, they would play sports and they would get their varsity jacket and they would wear that varsity jacket everywhere, even when they were past college or when they were past high school. And what that made me realize is you kind of get pulled back to that identity when really you should be evolving into whatever the next version of yourself is. And so I think in a way, for a lot of people, those transitions can be massive. And for me right now, going from this crazy photography career that I've had to now I'm going into really starting over with YouTube. It's honestly really, really challenging. Every single day I am opening up YouTube and I'm losing subscribers on a daily basis. I opened up YouTube Studio this morning, and I think in the last month I'm down 50 or 60 subscribers. And so it really sucks to see the numbers go down, but I know because I'm in a transition in my life that's going to be natural. Just like what I talked about, when you go from high school to college, you get so fearful of losing those high school friends that you don't really create an opportunity for new friends in college. And so this is kind of the same way right now. Like, even though I'm losing subscribers, I know those are people that were from my past. I know they were from the paintball days, and now I'm opening up a space for new people in where I want to go with this YouTube channel. And so it'll come, it's going to happen. So I also think that because of this whole new era of where I'm going and where everything is going to be with this new life transition, it's going to bring up a lot of some of my old fears and a lot of the old stories that I'm telling myself. And what I've noticed is that some of those old stories and those old transitions, those are the moments that just keep people small. Those are the moments that a lot of people will just stay stuck in the thing that they've always been in, because the fear is so big and the noise and the stories that we tell ourselves are so big all of the time. And that's something that I really want to break with this new phase of my life. And so while a lot of my friends have left me, I don't talk to some of my best friends anymore, because I think now that I'm going through this transition and going through this life transition, that's going to be normal. I think part of going through this transition is you kind of have to come back to yourself. You kind of have to come back to who you are as a person. And that's going to be natural. That's going to be part of opening up a door for new people. Is I've got to come back to my individual self first. And then that's going to create a space where it's inviting for a new audience, right? Maybe it's a new pocket of friends that are creators. Maybe it's inviting a bigger community here on YouTube with all of you that are watching. And so we all are going to go through life transitions. But I think the biggest thing is how do you go through those transitions, and do you allow yourself to go through those transitions? And so 2 things to wrap up this video. 1, it's awesome to be back here in public, vlogging in public here at my favorite place in Austin, Texas, the Domain. There's so many things to do here. And 2, I hope you can take away from today's video that we all go through life transitions. We all go through different chapters in our life, and that's okay. So if you're going through a current life transition or even a new identity transition, I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, see ya.